Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a different video. Um, as you can see in the description, Superman, the new Superman trailer released yesterday, and I've watched it a number of times. What we're going to do is I'm going to go over a few things, and then I'm going to go through the video just one time, and then I'm going to slow the video down, and I'm going to start it again and try to point out a few things to kind of give you my um, already. We'll go through the video one time. Sort of. I'm looking at it now, so when I'm looking in this direction, then I'm looking at the video itself. If I'm looking down this direction, then I'm looking at stuff below me. Um, but let me go over a few things before we get into the trailer. I am a I'm a I'm a Superman fan. Just because I wear a shirt doesn't mean that really, but I'm a Superman fan. Okay, I like Superman. Um, I don't have everything. I'm not the super collector that some other people are. You can see Superman, the the Trinity back there, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from Zack Snyder version. Um, that's from Weta Workshops. Nice little set there, and uh, like I said, I don't have everything, but I'm still working on getting things. So it's a matter of time. But just to show you some of the things that I have, and then and kind of show you my Superman. But I enjoy Superman. Okay, I like Superman. Uh, I watch Superman stuff. Uh, I have two ways the entire, well, three in fact. I think the entire 10 seasons of Smallville. Um, love that show. Uh, and here, when the anthologies came out, this was when they came out in Blu-ray. So I have the Blu-ray little box set. How does it open again? I think yeah, this way. It slides open, and it's got the sets inside. Nice little Superman cape version. I grew up with the Superman S on the back of the cape. So I always liked that as well. Uh, my mind is not serving me at the moment that Superman Returns, whether or not it had the Cape S, which I don't think it did. I think, or it did, and it was of course a darker yellow, kind of almost looked plasticky. The cape itself, but nothing necessarily bad about that. But anyway, this is the setup of this set Blu-ray, and that is apparently a broken tab there. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with how to fix it. If anybody knows and you want to let me know, let me know. But yeah, I got that. Somebody, unfortunately, put some damage to the corner. It's got the broken glass. I might one day buy another set just to replace that brokenness there. Just, I'm particular about stuff. So, but anyway, and I've still got the backing that goes with that, 8 discs and all the different particulars. Um, this was the first time in a long time that they had released the Superman 2 Richard Lester version of Superman 2. Also have this when this became available. The setup again, move that. So it looks kind of strange, but anyway, the Superman collectible set, 5 films. So this does not have Superman Returns in it, but this was when they put it out in in 4K and Blu-ray in this steel box, and each of them in a steelbook case. So this right here says collectibles, and it's got several things inside of it. Um, that are collectible, like not the entire 78. But anyway, pull that off. And it's got certificate of authenticity, little comic book. And then this, I have not opened this yet to see what all is inside of it, but you got Clark Kent, and I'm sure Lois Lane is in there somewhere. Turn this right side up. With some different things. So 85th anniversary, and I like this. It's hard to explain how I got it, because I'm kind of vaguely remembering. I like that has a front cover like that. I appreciate this poster of the original Superman the movie, 4K and Blu-ray, and I lost my 4K capabilities not too long ago. This again, Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and also has the theatrical version. So it's got both of them in this multi-disc set. So it's on that one, and that's nice because I don't know why they just, once the Donner cut came out, they weren't selling Superman 2 again. So, but this is not going to be a history lesson on this stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. But I'm glad that they put it out. I grew up on it, so I enjoy it for what it is. The Superman 2, Richard Lester. Now, this is the Superman comics that I grew up on, and I've got the volumes: the Man of Steel, John Byrne, Marv Wolfman, Jerry Ordway, and Dick Giordano. Superman, the Man of Steel, and it started out with the Man of Steel comic books. And this, of course, starts out with all that. But this was the reboot of Superman that I basically grew up on. I started in this. There's the two different covers, the alternative covers that they did then. They did not do, as far as I remember anyway, chromes and everything else and the different things. But anyway, this, I believe, is I'm not sure how far this goes in volume 1, but it's looking like it goes past just this 6-issue opener, which ended with this iconic pose and message that's in it, and then the first Superman issue, maybe your last, could be your last. Excellent way to start the whole thing out and begin the John Byrne Superman run. And then there's volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. And I'm going to go back through this and read through it. I vaguely remember bits and pieces here and there, going up through these stories. But I'm not going to pretend that I know where all this is. I know it goes back and forth from Action Comics and Superman proper, The Adventures of Superman, and stuff like that. So I'm a Superman fan, but this is where I came from. The John Byrne run of Superman, when he started Superman over again, I'd read Superman before that. Otherwise, bits and pieces. I don't know how many numbers he was up to. Uh, it's probably all written down there in the beginning stuff. But Superman, again, where I come from, is the John Byrne reimagining the origin. So I don't come from the New 52 version or whatever there has been since then. I know they've done several things uh, with the DC Comics, and I left supreme interest in comics quite a while ago, and I maintain my enjoyment of Superman, enjoyment of comic book movies and things like that. But I'm not necessarily super particular on on well, all the details in trying to say where some people will argue for super comic book accuracy, and other people will say obviously you don't want to necessarily do comic book accuracy in certain cases, or in many cases perhaps, and it it doesn't make much difference to me in some of those respects. I remember Zack Snyder points out, it's like, what is the Superman outfit? There's been quite a few Superman outfits. You saw the first Action Comics cover. There's a different Superman S and a different kind of design, but he's got a blue suit. He's got the S on the chest. He's got the red boots. Uh, he's got the red cape. That's Superman. So all the arguments about Superman otherwise would be, I'll be glad to listen and take part and say, yeah, what about this and maybe this and this, such and such, and have discussions about it, because I like to have discussions. I won't fight with anybody about things like that. Whether or not he should be wearing the trunks on the red trunks, the red underwear on the outside, or the whatever you want to call them. Uh, I enjoy greatly in Christopher Reeve's version of Superman. I enjoy Superman Returns. I enjoy um, the little snippets that we get of some things. If you've never seen the documentary "The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened," I would recommend checking that out to learn about the could have been Tim Burton with Nicolas Cage Superman. That would have been quite interesting, I think. And you, of course, if you watched the Flash movie, you saw that snippet of just a piece of that. And if you know the history of the movie and so forth, then you might get more out of it than just being a casual fan and just enjoying the older movies and stuff like that. And again, I very much enjoyed Smallville. Lois and Clark. There's aspects that I've enjoyed of it, and not. Is it Lois and Clark? Lois and Superman, the new one, the Superman and Lois series. Lois and Clark. I grew up with that too, so that's another kind of Superman. Dean Cain and I've done forgot the Lois's name. It came close to my memory, but I've forgotten it. I apologize. But I grew up with that series. I also grew up watching the Superboy series, things like that. I didn't watch as much animation as some other people would, so I didn't necessarily see as much of that. I enjoyed Hollywoodland, which is the story of George Reeves, Superman. Ben Affleck played George Reeves, and what happened there. Um, I need to watch it again to just refresh my mind about it, but I enjoyed that working there. Uh, so, and if you've watched any of the other videos, you know that I've very much enjoyed Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and other movies that go along that line. So uh, you you really can't go away from this video, I hope, and say I don't like Superman. Some people are gonna represent possibly what some things I say. Just depends how many people watch this video. Probably not a lot. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put the sound on, but I'm going to turn it down. So I don't know how loud it's going to be. And might get copyright claim for it anyway. Again, I should be unnoticeable, so hopefully nobody says anything. Let's play this. I'm gonna pause it just for a second, just so uh, you know, a lot of people I'm listening to a lot of. I've watched a lot of reactions, and I've watched the trailer several times, and so just take note of the suit and everything like that. He is, of course, having trouble breathing, and people are wondering, and they look down, and they finally see the blood coming out of his mouth, on his face, the bruise, stuff like that, and most people, are in some kind of shock, like what is happening. Um, and they take it one way, they take it another. I'm not commenting on all those things. Um, they talk about the suit in whatever way they talk about it, and so forth. I just want you to take note of it as we go. And of course, the cutaway to him going through the city or trying to get into, the Daily Planet. I of course notice he's head and shoulders above the rest. He's like Saul in the Bible, Saul of Kish, when he was made king of Israel. He's head and shoulders above all the rest of the people in Israel. Sorry, I just gotta move the camera around a little bit. All right. So you can see that he's the tallest one. Now he's 6'4". That means they had to hire a lot of average height of man is, I think it is 5'8" or 5'10", maybe something like that. It's between those numbers. It is not 6 foot something. Vast majority of men are uh, around 6 foot, or sorry, 5'10" and way below. Okay, the shortest man in the NBA is the average height of men in America. Is what one basketball video said to um, their listeners. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting to know. The shortest man in the NBA, all right, is what he said. At least currently, I think there may have been a shorter one in the past before, um, when I was growing up. So I don't know what his height was though, and I didn't bother to look it up. And just going, I noticed that right away, and it was is just a passing thought. Yeah, he's definitely head and shoulders above all the rest of them. And there's something about his hair looks away, and people are commenting on the hair. And we'll just keep watching the video here. And this, some of James Gunn's thoughts, or not thoughts, but comments. Uh, Specifically for sure the opening of the trailer, we have him battered and stuff like that, seems to imply that it possibly, this at least this is what people are saying, but is implying that the beginning of the movie starts out like this. I would hope not. I think that it uh, somebody else said we heard it starts out on the battle. Well, that would be fine, and then this, toward the end of the battle, uh, I don't see a problem with that. But I don't know, and I'm not saying that either one would be disappointing or would be great. If it opens on the battle, or if it opens on this and then flash back to the battle, great. I do hear some really weird comments from some people that seem to think this is so completely different of a Superman. Like he's now vulnerable. He's not invulnerable like um, in Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman. I think that's a ridiculous comment. This is supposed to be probably after the battle, I assume, with the black suited person, which people have said is Ultraman. Um, and I'm not that familiar with that character, so I'm not going to get um, to commenting on that kind of thing. Um, might comment on him. I don't think we really see much of him. There's a couple little shots in them. Also, somebody said recently that the theatrical trailer is out in theaters, and that it's got a few extra shots in it. Lex Luthor, Ultraman with um, the engineer, I think it is, and it's hard to keep all these straight, but and had my goodness, a couple extra shots of something else, and I can't remember right now. But anyway, this is just the opening of the trailer. Good or bad, I'm indifferent to it right now as far as like good or bad. But I'll comment on some things in a little bit. Now, some people, of course, there's a big debate about the suit itself. You can obviously tell there's different lines and stuff like that in it. Um, you can see when you see his hands in other places, um, like here around the collar. This is a thick material. It's really thick. It's not spandex. And it's not even normal clothing, covering. So it's a thickened material. Like I don't even know necessarily how to describe it. I'm not wearing. It's not like wearing a t-shirt. And for my part, I'll say it would have been better to have it like a shirt, a t-shirt, or something like that, rather than this thickened material. And it does have various little wrinkles and folds in it that are there that you'll see. Now you'll see it really briefly and in passing, so it's probably not going to make much of a matter when you're actually watching it on film in a lot of cases. But the behind the scenes things began, of course, a great divide between people, and people claiming. I heard the claim so much that it was just irritating at a point that they're going to CGI out all the wrinkles and stuff like that. And those same people tried to claim the suits like of Henry Cavill did the same thing. That is not true, though. You need to go look at the behind the scenes and see the difference in the way the suit is constructed. There's a definite difference, okay? And there's plenty of behind the scenes of Henry Cavill in the suit, form fitting, um, of course padded. There's padding to because if you're under material, it's not going to stick to your skin, right? So if you're trying to show what definition is on the actor, like Henry Cavill's, then you got to have that in the suit. Uh, it's an obvious thing. I don't think anybody actually has a problem with that. This is padded in a different way where it doesn't show his muscularity. You may see how big he is compared to some other people around, but his David Cornsweat's physicality and the work he did in the gym is lost under this suit. It's just where I come from with it. Some people have said it looks like, pajamas. Other people say Spirit Halloween. Uh, just real cheap and everything like that. I'm not. Um, I'm not going to comment on it a lot. Yeah, like I said, my position is it's too thick and wanted something more form-fitting. A lot of people don't like the lines that are on it, um, things like that, and I fairly well agree with them. Not going to name many names. I will say this. I will say one name, Tyrone Magnus. If he ever hears this or sees this, I will mention some things that he did talk about in one of his videos, which I did not see many people speaking about. He brought a couple of things up. I was like, all right, good. Somebody else noticed it. I'm not the only one that noticed it because nobody else was saying anything about a few of the things I noticed about the whole trailer. But we'll go on. We'll move. But his hair in as Clark Kent in that scene going through the city looks different than later. My son sent me a reel that sounded like it came from somebody working on the set, and he was near David Cornsweet while he was sitting there as Clark, and he set the camera down. He was setting the camera down and said, I want y'all to hang out with Superman for a moment, and sat down in front of Clark Kent, and David in characters saying, who? Superman? What are you talking about? I'm, not Superman. So it was nice. But the hair does not look like that shot of him walking through the city. It looks like a messy, wet look, but it doesn't look like that shot. And that shot is the one most people that have a problem with the haircut have a problem with it. The one inside the Daily Planet we'll see in just a moment it looks different. It may not be, maybe exactly the same, just in a different lighting. It looks slightly different, but it's improved inside, in my opinion, to the other. Um, and we'll get into some more comments. I'm taking too long in explaining some things. We're only 27 seconds into the trailer, but you've probably seen the trailer already. So let's go on though. Let's see what this movie. I'm going to slow it down and go back to replay. Now it starts off here, then it cuts away. Now notice the wind. Oh, I'm going to stop it and hold on just for a moment and come back to you this way. So my impressions about it. I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I'm coming from seeing Zack Snyder's vision of it, and I believe I've got a good idea of the vision he would finish if he could. But no argument about that, whether or not it's going to happen. Not dealing with it that way. And then you saw The Rock and his advocacy for Henry Cavill and bringing Henry Cavill back, approved by the studio at the time for the last second. For he actually went through several post-credit scenes, in credits, or last part of the movie scene, whatever, cameos, whatever you want to call them. Henry Cavill came back for several different things, and The Rock's Black Adam, he was in that in an end scene, brought in to talk, right? Whatever happens, we will probably never know. Could we know? It's a possibility. I wouldn't throw away what is possible, okay? Without arguing that it needs to be or anything like that, or arguing, what could be right now. I come from the place where he came out, the studio said to announce that he was coming back, and he had several interviews after that of the plans they had for the follow-up Superman movie, standalone Superman movie. Not the ensemble, not Justice League 2 and 3 and all that. It's what was going to follow up Superman. How was it going to develop his character from uh, the Zack Snyder version of Justice League, where he comes back and what happens uh, thereafter. So I don't want to argue about any theories and stuff like that. But he was ready. He was back. He was definitely back. And then after that, and it was already a planned thing, so it shouldn't have happened this way. But after that, he has the meeting directly with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and they're saying, not going to have you back as Superman. Going to different direction, and there's several things that were said very clearly throughout all the history of this. And then later on, the studio or James Gunn himself tried to come back and backtrack things that they said and things they were claiming because it wasn't happening the way they were saying it. So I believe that there's no nice way to say it, that we were definitely lied to. They mistreated Henry Cavill. They talk about having just one universe, but then they have these Elseworld stories that they allow to be told and say, yeah, we're going to have these things anyway, like Batman, which apparently is not part of the DCU. So the argument that they couldn't have Henry Cavill because they were just going to have one version of everything, it falls apart with that. And they have this Joker story that's outside of the DCU as well. And there's theories that, of course, that ties into Nolan's trilogy. Well, Nolan's trilogy shouldn't be tying into the DCU, the current DCU anyway, in any case. So that's still an Elseworld story. Why can't you have a different version on screen available? Resources? I don't think that's necessarily the problem. So the lines like that were told to the fans, and it's disillusioned us. So I don't have confidence in a liar is my problem. So I had a problem with the previous regime that was given issues to Zack Snyder, that lied to the fans and did things that were nefarious and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into all those things, but it's true. It's just simply true. So I'm not a Snyder fanboy. I'm a fan of Snyder's work in this genre, and in but if you ask me about most of his movies, I'm not a big fan of most of his movies. I can talk to you about the cinematography and the visuality of it, stuff like that's really impressive. But I wouldn't necessarily say I like certain various of his movies. But nevertheless, a lot of his movies are better than people let on uh, to them. You know, they like to put him down rather than allow for whatever that movie really is. Okay, and whether you like him or not, he's a very gifted filmmaker, especially visually. All right, he tells a story visually like very few others can do. All right, and others claim it, especially the artsy crowd, but don't have the real ability. But anyway, and this is true about other people too, but still. Um, so I come at it with, being lied to and being disillusioned, therefore, and saying I don't trust the man. And then the suit comes out, and all you could hear was the loud voices of people trying to defend it where it wasn't defensible. It just doesn't look good in that first picture that was given out. It's pretty interesting, uh, and it doesn't look good in some of the behind the scenes stuff. as far now, I'm not talking about color and stuff like that, and you can like or not like the S. You know, there's different views on that. Um, I hear too many people trying to claim it's a classic suit. It's not a classic suit. It has classic colors. So does every other Superman, pretty much iteration except for Smallville. Smallville, you know, went well, had mostly the colors, and then during certain seasons, you know, anyway. But it's still uh, a good look for him. But no, this is not the classic. The classic suit would be essentially not the ancient suit. The classic suit would be what he looked like most of the time, which would be like John Byrne drew him with the Superman S, like Christopher Reeves, a large logoed S. That's one of the problems I had with Superman Returns was the size of the S. The S was far too small, in my opinion. Needed to be across his chest more. And just look at Christopher Reeves and compare it to Superman Returns, and you'll kind of see. I think where they went a little different, and I thought the cape was too dark. But anyway, it's a different movie. So these colors I don't really have a problem with. I like actually the brighter colors. In Man of Steel, people talk about it being too dark or very very dark, like navy blue or something like that. But I think you might need to adjust your colors on your TV set because it's not as dark as you might uh, first suspect or something like that. So, but anyway, you can check it out because it is. Um, I'm not saying it's not darker. It's just not like super dark. Okay. And there's factors that you can fix on it. Um, especially if you have a problem with it, you can adjust things in the color that will work for you. But anyway, um, nonetheless, it's still very close to a classic Superman suit. All right. The trunks don't have anything to do with whether or not it's classic, in my opinion. It can have it or not. So the comic books that don't have the uh, red trunks uh, are fine by me. Um, there's some iterations in comic books. I'm like, why in the world did you do that? And that looks kind of strange. But nevertheless, we're not going through a history of all that. Uh, I hope that nobody wants me to. For the few people that are listening to me, so the debate about the suit is not about the colors necessarily. Some people don't like the colors. The biggest issue is the thickness of it or the size of it, the bagginess of it. That's the problem. You can fix all that in CGI post, and well, they didn't do it. Okay, so as much as you wanted to claim that they would do it, anybody that said that, they didn't do that. Proof is in the trailer itself. Now, maybe they will. Maybe they'll actually hear some of the outcry about it and the disappointment that they didn't get. Well, they're not being disappointed. People are just enjoying the movie if they think they're going to just absolutely love everything James Gunn does, or they love every decision that's made. You know, it's anyway. It's funny to see people, complaining about other people being fanboys or whatever you want to call them, and hear what they say about this trailer. All right. Now, I will just basically say this. Overall, the it looks okay. Coming at it from feeling lied to, being disappointed, disillusioned. I don't care about most of what James Gunn has done. I don't think he's this great director. His humor is childish or profane and disgusting and unnecessary. It just, yeah, I am not a fan. He has not been the success that people claim him to be, in my opinion. They may say he's great and he's done great things, but no, I mean, you can argue with me in the comments if you like. Leave your comments down below. Now, let me put these kind of over here. Just so we have them out of my way over here. But we're going to go through this like really slowly. So we're obviously up in the Arctic somewhere. I heard one commentator say, we're in the Fortress of Solitude. And I'm going to zap it down because otherwise it's going, it's weird. So we're not going to listen to it. But we'll watch. And so they cut to a different spot. I'm trying to think about where exactly they're coming from, and want you to watch. He comes down and, oh, let me switch it back this way. Now notice, and I got it on 0.25 speed, but notice that the cloud is dissipating and it's blowing away. Heard some people comment that the boots, they just did not like the boots from this moment. Now, you see the snow falling or the cloud dissipating, whatever this is, and the movement is across his body. I think this should be reversed on this page here. Let me see if I can change this. Bear with me just a moment. So I'm looking at flipping it. It's probably okay, but if I go back to the other way, you see it's reversed here. That's what I'm looking at getting done here. Blending. I think this is it. Yes, let me do that. That way we don't get into an issue here. All right, pause it. So the snow is coming from this direction, or the whatever is coming across. So I want you to remember that. Now you can see he's got some bruises here. I'm just asking the question, why is his suit completely intact and so clean looking? We know later in the trailer, after the dragon thing, he's got burnt, part of the suit, or carbonized or whatever. There's carbon scoring on it, or the blackenedness. Could he just wipe it off and it'd be blue again? And this, if he's in a fight, why isn't it super dirty? Why aren't his boots ripped, or his pants torn, or his cape ripped? The sleeves torn up, holes in it, and stuff like that. And I'm pointing this out just because I look at it, I'm thinking, first, I'm like, okay, this is going to be adequate. I'm probably going to go to this movie and enjoy it as a Superman fan and say, I like the movie, overall. I'm enjoying the film. I like seeing Superman on the screen. I like seeing him fly. I like seeing the fight scenes and stuff like that. I'm probably going to enjoy it like that, but I could nitpick things. I'm not really nitpicking here. I'm just saying that it seems like it would have been a great choice to show the damage on the rest of his body. It seems to me like he should have, like I said, torn sleeves, um, ripped uh, upper torso, legs, some bruising there, some bloodiness there, and so forth. That would all make perfect sense to me. Now, this could all be done in CGI. I know that they could do that. They could go in here and tear up the boots or something like that, and have part of the sole flopping off or something, and so forth. Why not? You can already tell there's the wrinkles and stuff. You can tell it's baggy. It's not the form fitting type of suit. There's folds in it and so forth. And whether you like the trunks or not, or anything of that nature, I mean, why not have tears? In the comics, frequently happened. If he was beat up, the cape would tear. And the explanation given of the suit when his mother made it for him was that she made it tight fitting because clothes close to his skin seemed to not tear. Now the cape would tear, but it looked amazing, that kind of thing. But if I go to some of these first shots, oh, I can see a torn cape already. This is, I think, the third or fourth. This is Action Comics with the Phantom Stranger. All right, and if we go back a little ways and get to, this is an Action Comics. Where he was fighting with uh, the robot with the kryptonite in his chest. He's pulling on his shirt. He's punching him, choking. You see, he's like bruising up in his face. He tears his cape off. But they did this in the comic books all the time. The suit is in some way colored to make it look like there was a tears and stuff, or bruising underneath and things like that. But as long as it was close to his skin, it seemed to be as invulnerable as him. But they would, fighting against somebody more that was really powerful, they tore it. Especially when you get to the Death of Superman, that whole series where he's fighting Doomsday. So it would have been, to me, in my opinion, a beautiful choice to tear the suit. So James Gunn, if you hear me, take it into thought. Tear the suit. That doesn't make a lot of sense for it not to be torn. And you only notice a little bit of bruising around his head. Why not some bruising on his hands or something like that? But maybe he just got punched in the face a lot of time, and then that's it. I don't know. It's a possibility. Let's keep going. Remember the direction that the snow is flying. You can see it there. Across his body, toward his back. And then shot of the crowd. He's standing taller than everybody. It's kind of running into a pedestrian. Unnecessary. I notice he looks at looks like the guard for them that's just looking at a newspaper and not checking people. And it seemed to me at this point he tried to whistle, but coughed up blood or something like that. That's just something I noticed. Maybe that's not exactly what he was doing. Maybe it's just spitting it out. But I don't have any real problem with this. Am wondering why he's not healing. if it's just because of the beating, or is there kryptonite involved or something like that. Um, we don't know much of anything about this right now. Um, jump ahead a little bit, just because I don't want to sit on that. Now, and I noticed in these shots, and then I think she looks adequate for Lois Lane, but I noticed in these shots his suit looks loose on him. It doesn't look like a normal fitting suit. Maybe he just buys off the rack whatever kind of fits him. And this turn and this look here, people talk about this. Um, yeah, sure. I mean, he looks like he's in disguise. But to me, his face is looking like, is he mad at somebody? Did somebody try to get his attention? He's turning around. He didn't. If this is the same kind of thing as when Brandon Routh did it in Superman Returns, where they were talking about him and he was hearing them, with a super hearing, and he turns and looks both ways. He's got a real smooth, blank expression, and then he smiles at them. This, I don't know. When I saw this, I was like, why is he angry? What's he mad about? What is that about? But this suit does look like it's baggy on him, and I don't think there's any good reason for that. It did occur to me also, if in a classic Superman fashion, he wears his suit underneath his, suit clothes and stuff like that. If he's actually doing that, as baggy and large as his Superman suit is, he would be wearing some enormous looking clothes. So anyway, movie magic. We don't want to explain it all. Um, he just simply has on a suit, obviously. But look, his hair does not look, to me, does not look like it looked outside. So, perhaps it's just something in mid transition. He's tried to work on as he came in or whatever. I don't dislike the look of the Daily Planet. Some people say it looks like it really ought to look. Um, Seems to me like there would be a bunch of cubicles. But I've never worked in a newspaper place, especially not in a big city, so I don't know for sure what it would look like. I just go off of a movie like Zodiac Killer, where they are in pretty tight fitting seats and desks, but it is open. So that may be the way that they work. And it may depend on the newspaper. It may just depend on the design and layout of the office itself, and whether or not they're in cubicles and walls everywhere or what. Uh, but it looks reasonable. To me, there's just a lot of open space, though, that I don't think would exist there. Um, but that's just me. I just think there would be more desks in that area. My opinion, only my opinion. Um, Maybe it's true on other floors, and just that floor is not as packed out because they need more breathing room and more walking room and stuff like that. But anyway, his look, I don't know, it's not soft to me. It's not a gentle look. He for some reason looks kind of angry, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, let's jump that. Now this is a Kent Farm, and I'm looking. I don't see any barn. It's not the classic Kent Farm. Uh, this just looks like kind of a country house. The cows look out of place. That I don't even know. These may be superimposed CGI cows. They may not be real. Uh, Cows are kind of huge, and this one looks like it's, looking at the fence size, comparing it to the truck and stuff like this. I think maybe they're little calf. Where's the cattle then? Oh, there's some little cattle out here maybe. But where's the farm? I mean, where's the wheat crop or the whatever grain is in season and stuff like that? Where's again? Why don't they have a barn? Uh, seems seems like a missed opportunity. And I don't really think they could change much of it now. Maybe they could add barn and stuff like that. Right out here, just a big barn. It would make sense. Um, but maybe there's some other kind of farmer. I don't know in this version of the story, and that's apparently um, I think that's the him and Paul Kent, Jonathan Kent, sitting on the porch, on the steps rather. I think there's missed opportunities, and it's sad that commentators say some huge farmhouse, a two-story farmhouse with covering more square footage is not unusual. Okay, and it's funny just listening to people talk about farms like they knew what they were talking about. And apparently, these people live in cities. They've never been by a farm, probably. I don't know, because they had no clue what a farm looked like. But anyway, and I don't live near a lot of farms, but I even driving in some distances, there's larger houses than this with the barn and got the cows out and everything, uh, a horse barn and stuff like that. It's just stuff you need on a farm. But anyway, nevertheless, I think that's them sitting there on the porch, but I could be wrong. Um, and maybe these are just the little calf that they're taking care of, and the cows are out in the backfield or something like that. And maybe there's something over here that we don't know about. Who knows? But they had the chance to kind of pan across the whole thing and show, you know, that kind of area. But anyway, um, be that as it may, I was disappointed with the farmhouse. The first picture I saw, I was like, that is not what a farmhouse looks like. That's unusual choices for sure, and all, and the colors and all that to begin with. Okay, but yeah, that's anyway. I forget who did it, but somebody just Googled farmhouses, in America, and picture after picture after picture after picture after picture, a barn and a two-story low farmhouse. Nothing. It didn't look any like fancy and super rich or anything like that. It's just the normal thing you see when you see a farm out somewhere. And that's the way it is. You can do that for yourself, and yeah, like I said, I would love to give credit to the person that did it, but I don't remember who it was. So I apologize, but um, let's go on, keep moving. Let it show what it's gonna show. Okay, sitting here on the front porch, and he's got his hair um, kind of messy. Uh, I'm personally not in, impressed by this choice for Jonathan Kent. They have had larger, portly men play Jonathan Kent. Okay, so the Smallville Jonathan Kent, I love John Snyder. It's just amazing to me. Great portrayal, um, and makes sense. Stuff like that. Uh, it's funny listening to some people must not know farmers, but you should look up some farmers because they don't all look like this. And it seemed like that was what they were trying to say. And Glenn Ford looked fine. I'm pretty sure that was his name in the original uh, Christopher Reeve Superman. Um, he looked great. Uh, Maybe this will be fine. I don't have any problem with the clothing choices and stuff like that. The the look on his face is, I don't know, to me David Cornsweet's look on his face right now. Did I freeze frame it wrong? It looks like Jonathan Kent is sad or troubled, grieving. Um, if we back it up just a moment, it cuts to them. He doesn't have to me, I don't see a compassionate, calm, sweet face, grieving with Dad. Not that he's reaching his arm around. He throws his arm down fairly hard. So that's kind of unusual. He doesn't pull him in for a hug. He pulls him a little bit closer, and they keep their distance and the heads and all of that. It's kind of unusual when I sit there and watch it. So if this is just showing us that they are there, they kind of dress the same on the farm. It could be a flashback to when he's supposed to be, I don't know, a little bit younger, right before he's leaving the farm or something like that. It could be that. But watch this one. Just try to watch his hand going around and come down hard, man. And then grip. He grabs his arm over here. I don't. Maybe toward the last second, it looked like his face softened and looked like maybe he was. I mean, it looked toward angry before, and then that. All right, and then we get the whistle. Like I said, no volume, so. But this is a pristine suit. Why, it would just be easy to CGI some scarred tissue, not tissue, fabric in there. And this great cloud's growing up. There's a little dog we know, Krypto, is coming, and he's just kicking up dust, kicking up snow dust, just a cloud of snow. And it's not going to get close enough. I would think he should have got to about right there, within that time. Just personally, that's what I think. It begins now. He jumps there. Where's the cloud? Now that could be fixed. That could easily be fixed. It's supposed to be blowing over his body here. So does he jump out of the cloud? It's actually toward Superman's feet, so it's just going to blow over him, and we're not going to miss it. Okay, I'll buy that. And this is many people's favorite part of the trailer. They're going to give this movie all the credit that they can because a dog showed up. Krypto the dog, not the classic Krypto. It's based on James Gunn's little dog. I thought for a minute maybe it was his dog, but apparently not, unless they, you know, changed the coloring of his fur because it's a browner and gray dog. But anyway, he's got the cape on, and I don't really have any kind of problem with it. It's cute. Obviously, it's gonna get some people into the theater that may not have been interested before, just to see what this dog is gonna do. He's happy. He sees him. You know. Now here's the thing that I noticed, and it would do better even with all the tears. But I don't know. There's a proportion thing going on here, and I can't really tell what it is because this dog is almost as big as Superman, and he's not. This is a little dog, so I'm assuming somehow we're closer in this frame shot to Krypto. But I mean, you can see it. You can just see the size is. This is not a 6 foot long dog. Anyway, yeah, and I know his leg is bent here. So his leg's actually down here somewhere. But still, the just anyway, we must be closer to Krypto, and just seeing a little bit here. But he's He's really playful. And at this time, I know some people probably are going to argue that their dog would be different than, and maybe Crypto's not very sensitive, but most of them, you'll see him licking them in a moment, but it's like playful licking. Instead of being playful, they would kind of notice Master is injured, hurt, something's wrong, and it would play well. It can be done or not, but it would play really well if he was playful at first, because he found him, he's there, and he jumps, and then he stops jumping, and he kind of shuts his mouth and turns and a little whimper and all that, and tries to lick his wounds, following that up. The wagging of the tail. See, this is a playful licking. He says home. He's still jumping around. So the playfulness, to me, detracts from the seriousness of the situation. Now this here, I want to back it up just so I can see the very beginning of that. But again, if they left it like this, I'm not going to nitpick and say these things. I'm saying that these are things that still they could be fixed or changed, and it would make more sense. I'm putting my logic cap on, saying this doesn't make much sense to be playful that whole time. To see the injury is like, this is usual. I've unusual. I've never seen the Master this way. Never seen Clark this way, or Superman, however you want to say. So here we go. He grabs the gate, and it's going to cut away. This is either a stand holding this up, or I would assume it's a truck that has all these things in the back side of it. And of course, this is that kaiju's foot stomping down. I'm just curious why she didn't see this thing before. I mean, was it that far away? I don't know. It seems it's a cool shot. People are loving it. But I'm seeing it, and I'm like, why is this and this happening? So maybe that will be easier explained. Now, if it's true to modern day, then just put a little earmuffs around her head there, and a cell phone in her hand, and she's listening to some TikTok video or something like that, and or maybe she's doing a TikTok video. That might make sense, and that would again play for a modern audience too. But the movie feels to me like they're not going ultra modern, too exact to today's culture, if you will. All right. So anyway, but I'm not sure what she's doing. She's taking little steps here. It would again make sense if it was a TikTok video or something like that, a little dance thing. I don't know, but almost anything. I'd like to. When I watch the movie, I'll be watching for an explanation. Why is she standing there like that? And Superman jumps in front of her, or behind her, between the destructive bottles and so forth. It's going to cut to the side, right? I'm just seeing. Honestly, I was watching. I was hoping this was not happening. He keeps pushing her head down, and that I think probably should be fixed. And I think they ought to look at it a few times. And then I realize also it's in slow motion, so him pushing her head down is probably more gently than I would think. because I'm trying to speed it up in my head, and he's moving her head down real fast. But I don't think he needs to push it down that far in the shot. So, because he's on the other side of it and he's covering it up with his hand, she's good with that. I don't I don't believe that that it's necessary to keep pushing her head down. But I thought that he stopped somewhere, right? But he's her head's going down, and maybe it cuts back a little bit, but in any case, there, just at some point there, just stop that CGI, stop it, push it back up. Right at the last second, it stops. But if it's as fast as I'm thinking, uh, then he's hurting her neck. You know, that's painful. Hurting the back of her head. Um, so anyway, it's just an observation. Again, a logical thing. It's like, wait a second, you're going a little too far there. You know, in my opinion. This shot, he's flying across. Either one of two things. He turns his head back this way, Lex Luthor. Instead of, like, he sees him, he does not react to him. There's no reaction. So there's an issue there. Maybe it needs to be a pickup shot. I don't know. There have been pickup shots already made. So maybe they saw it and they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll leave it in the trailer. But when you see it in the film, he's going to watch him, fly across the screen. Then he's going to turn back. That makes more sense to me. But, who am I? Just a fan. And I don't even know if he's not reacting to him that I can tell or anything. Of course, the shot there, you can see the engineer is opening some kind of hatch, according to everybody, to get inside from outside. So that's interesting right there. I'm not sure architecturally how this would work, if there's actually buildings that have this kind of thing, a bridge between. I know there are buildings that have bridges, but I'm talking about super tall skyscrapers like that. This looks like something. My assumption in here is that this is like a ship of some sort or detachment. Just looking at it, but anyway, whatever it is, it still looks cool. It looks interesting. The city looks fine. Lex's towers are supposed to be the tallest. That way everybody in the city has to look up to him. It was a good line in the Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman, where Superman flew above him and said, "Just look up." I like Superman. I enjoy some of the slogans that are being said here. Like, look up. Um, the posters are not like out of the ordinary to me, though. As far as like great posters, this the anyway, we could compare posters or something like that, but the poster looks okay. I see some things in them, I'm like, what and why is that exactly like that? But nevertheless, that's what it is. That's what we'll live with. Going on here, let's go and play it. And it zooms back. Now, this shot has gotten the most laughs out of a number of people for the goofy side of things, because he looks like Agent 47 Hitman or something like that. And some people say James Bond and all that, but the Agent 47 Hitman makes more sense. Hitman, whatever it is. The uh, it's a game, right? That became just two movies that exist for it that I'm aware of, anyway. But maybe he's hedging his bets, and he's saying, "Look, I'd make a good Agent 47 this next time." He probably would. I think he looks good. Um, I don't necessarily have a big problem with it. To me, When I heard Nicholas Hoult was being cast, I was like, no, he doesn't have the jaw. But I'm coming from John Byrne's Superman, where he's the businessman, but he has muscularity to him, and he has uh, a wide jawline. Um, very strong features. Of course, he's older too. Nicholas Hoult is not I wouldn't say young or anything, but he's probably in line age with um, uh, what Superman is in this. So you get all kinds of different versions. Jane Hackman is older and um, older than Superman. Christopher Reeve, and then Kevin Spacey's playing the same Gene Hackman role. Uh, so let's see. Um, in Smallville, they're close to the same age, but he's a little bit older. Um, things like that. So yeah, um, I don't know what age they're playing on here, but like I said, to me, he wouldn't have been my choice because of the jaw and stuff. But maybe he does a phenomenal job in the acting part of it. And this may just be an unflattering shot, and there's a couple of them I think in here as far as his jawline. Okay, um, but that's just me. Like I said, that's where I'm coming from, and Michael Rosenbaum is possibly the best live action Lex Luthor that we've had. I didn't have a problem with Jesse Eisenberg's. Uh, those who do, I have my argument for it and the way that he behaved in some scenes and then changed it to the different other scenes and stuff like that. But to me, he fit the part well. So, and I think he played a type of Lex that was what it needed to be. Again, it'd be a different video if we're trying to compare all of them. But anyway, I'm not comparing him to Jesse Eisenberg or Michael Rosenbaum, saying he shouldn't be this. We haven't heard him say anything. I haven't heard him really. I haven't seen him really react to anything. And I don't know. I just see the what's that called? The chambers, right? Spinning, 6 shooter and whatever gun it is. I'm not a gun connoisseur. Um, Now that's his right hand. I see a ring. Is that on his pinky? I mean, it looks to be up on his pinky. So he gives this a kind of an unusual look right there. Did you see that? He just kind of squints his eyes. Now this Superman punching through the glass. Now, there are theories that are coming about. And I don't care about the theories. I'm curious to know the people on the sides and what this is actually showing. And we're jumping back too far. But there's two figures on the right hand side, and at least two on the left. Somebody's got their hand up against the glass. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Is that robots in the back side, the far? Talking about back here. I don't know. Not sure what the shadow's about, but anyway, can't tell. They did not zoom around everything to show this. He's got the Clark Kent hairstyle. Everybody knows he's Clark Kent now. The hairstyle didn't hide it very long. Um, but people have problems with the outfit because of this scene too. All right, so let's exit that. I'm not sure what it did to everything, but anyway, unimportant. Okay. go ahead and just go back to play. Should have gone to play. So what's going on? I mean, it's all speculation. Looks like a bunch of cages. Is this like the Lego movie where they're all in, the cages and he's got kryptonite surrounding him? Maybe it just got shut off and he busts out of the cage. I don't know. This boy lifting up this. I don't have any issue with this. Until I know what the context is in the movie, you know. And he's calling for Superman. Now, what is going on here? This is after the Dragon Blast. So you see this the carbonation or whatever you want to call it. The scoring, the black soot that's marring his face and his clothes. And I've heard people say there's a difference in the collar and different in a couple different shots. Like, it's not really. It's just the way it's shot and the way his head is moved into different spots and locations. It's the same. It's the same suit throughout the trailer. I believe the whole movie, in fact, because again, didn't seem to be ripped in the beginning. But he's stern, mad, upset at himself maybe for something happening. This person behind him, of course, is throwing a can at him. Now I'm thinking that's like creamed corn or something. Somebody said coffee cup. It looks like a can to me, like a can of something from a store, but I'm assuming it was like a soda can, but it doesn't really look like one. Anyway, they're stopping him from going in and following him in, and he's going into this building. And standing there, looking at some kind of computer screen, so he probably got some information. Stag Industries, I don't know all about this stuff. That again, that is, yeah, that's his reflection. At least the best I can tell, that's the reflection. It's looking like over his shoulder somehow. And so he's looking at the computer screen because his little curl is on the opposite side of the head. And if you're looking at my reverse view version here, then that way. Then it looks like it's on the correct side of his head. You look at him walking into the building, you see it's on the other. So anyway, I mean, what's going on? Why? People sitting here shouting online, so I'm gonna point it out about Zack Snyder's Superman. Why doesn't he smile? There's no smiles in anything. And there's been plenty of people that have pointed out the many, many, many smiles that are happening in Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, other movies. Okay, he does smile. Oh my goodness. But we don't see a smile one in this film. Not even when his dog shows up. It's like, yeah, I'm hurt. Oh, nothing. No, no smile. Nothing. No smile here. There ain't no hope right here. I mean, my goodness. Come on. Anyway, why don't we just drop that argument and say, well, I believe he's going to smile at some point, but we haven't seen it. You know, it hasn't shown it, but obviously it's got to happen. Can't have a Superman not smile in a set of movies. But anyway, yeah. Look at the S. See, it's reflection. I'm telling you, that's a reflection right there. That's what that is. Anyway. All right. People saying that's comic book accurate. Not reading the same comic book that I read. He's got a bowl cut, yeah, and it's got, you know, the remainder of his hair is sideburns. Not like that. That could be fixed. That could be digitally altered. So get on it. Somebody catch that. That needs to be, if it's going to be comic book accurate, you bowl cut that thing around and make it a nearly skin tight, residue, um, for some sideburns and around the rest toward the back. Now, I've seen the pictures, more toward the front and the sides, and it's higher and it goes above his ear, okay, and continues toward the back, whichever way it goes from there. And close cut, almost like crew cut or whatever, on the sides around under the bowl cut part. If you want to do that, I think that this is one of those times that you say when the comic books do a certain thing, you're like, no, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it differently. I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe he's blocking out the view of the people outside. Of course, after Superman has looked up whatever he's looking up and being disappointed and upset, and Mr. Terrific is in there. Uh, Somebody tell me in the comments who's playing Hawk Girl. I forgot. Um, but I don't have a problem with the castings here. Do have an issue with that haircut though. That is it's almost like these actors looked at things and said nothing. They just, yeah, we're whatever you do is what's going to happen. They had no input whatsoever. Like, here's apparently David Cornsweet supposedly had input about the trunks on the outside, and that's a new story that's coming out, and I doubt it. I would have to hear from him that yes, he's the one that convinced James Gunn to do it. James Gunn saying it, I don't necessarily believe him. I don't really believe him. So maybe David Cornsweet said something like that. In addition to the fact that James Gunn was gung ho on getting the trunks in there, because that seems like a decision that was made a long time ago. Uh, but anyway, so we see this little brief shot, um, and then this cutaway to the other side. Oh, where did she go? Because I see the Green Lantern, and um, that looks like something's just on the door. I assume Mr. Terrific, right, is behind him. I don't know enough about Mr. Terrific character. People say that he looks like he's straight out of the comic books, but I don't know. But I'm glad Hawk Girl showed back up. But a Hawk woman, Hawk Girl, um, that's great. But anyway, people complained about CGI and stuff. I don't have an issue with that at all there. But what is she doing? Where is she going? That's Superman there, um, in flight in front of the building. The kaiju, uh, or giant dragon, whatever you want to call them. Looks a little strange having the tongue popping out like that. The eyeball does look a little strange. The face looks a little scrunched, but this is not a old-fashioned dragon. But I've seen people cover this area up and say the rest of it looks really cool. But I don't know. They may not have been looking at the tongue very much too, and fire coming out and all that. So Superman's about to block this fireball. But would he have breathed fire if Superman wasn't standing there? And this can't be the same building where he saved the girl, because the kaiju is really far away from the building in this shot. So, um, anyway, just some little thoughts of mine. But what is she swinging at? Look at this. I don't see anything. I don't see a Superman. Maybe this is a pre um a, a pre kaiju imposed shot, and he's gonna be there. She's about to hit the kaiju. I don't know, because I see no kaiju. This to me does not look like the same building. So what is she about to kill the building? I don't understand. It just that. But that's the problem with the little real quick cuts and stuff like that, is that you don't see everything that's going to be. Um, just not sure. So let's see here. Um, I don't have a lot to say about it. That. Does not to me look like the same building though. This kind of looks like that building. I don't know, but there's no Hawk Girl in this shot anywhere. Um, so who knows? What do we know? And he's hitting Superman, but he's also hitting that building. That building's getting toasted. And then it cuts to this. And don't know what this is. Some people said, I've heard a few people say, it's going to be something like a dream sequence. Why would we be letting whatever's happening in the background happen? And I don't know what's going on in the background. Do you? Now it's got the green, it looks to me, green and pink colors that people are saying. Pink, say pink, purple, green and pink, green and purple, teal and purple. I don't know. It looks a variety of colors. So what is it? Metamorpho? Um, something to do with him? Y'all tell me if you know. You're watching this in the comments below. You educate me on what's out there. I don't have a problem with it being out there. I don't have a problem with him sitting there, putting on his suit, and this is where we get the first image that was released, which is showing this baggy outfit that's scorched. And so this is after the that day that the kaiju's there. Um, I just call him a dragon of some sort. And what's going on? It doesn't necessarily look like there's destruction happening to the city. So maybe that's some kind of scanning orb or something else, and who knows. I haven't heard anybody say anything definitive about it. Um, my personal thing with this, just to me, I'm not one that would have replaced Henry Cavill and um, Amy Adams. So, you know, would have had them back to continue on to the next story that was to be told. They want to take it in a different direction. They're welcome to. That's their prerogative. Like I said, I'm going to try to enjoy it just for being a Superman movie. Um, and I've had problems with some of the Loises in the past, and I, you know, I don't necessarily have anything against anybody in here. Um, they're looking for their paychecks and their moments and their movies. So and get the scene of. I have to go back to this. The kissing scene here. I've heard some stupid things happen. Some dumb comments about, well, yeah, they're kissing and they're showing affection and everything. It's so great. Um, she's not ignorant of who Superman is, and she's not saying, "Oh, this is Clark, and I'm in love with Clark, I'm not in love with Superman," or something like that. There's definitely not that going on. I predict, but to sit there and say, well, this is so unusual that there's this kissing scene. Uh, there's real passion there, and they've got great chemistry. You can't tell from a shot like that kind of thing. And in Man of Steel and in Batman v Superman, there is a relationship between Clark and Lois, and whether you like the chemistry or not, there exists some, and they do fine. So it's nothing new. And the the Donner Superman had the kissing going on then. Um, I have to watch Superman Returns again because uh, she has a boyfriend, so she should not be kissing him. But I think it might have happened. Anyway, nonetheless, this here, I don't know the name of the droid, I guess. Uh, I don't think you can try to claim that the trunks are gone in this at all. Doesn't make any sense for them to be. I believe it's there. I don't think it's a different suit. People try to point out things like angles and say, see, that's a different suit. See, there's no yellow around the outside of the thing, so that's a different suit. No, there's yellow there. It may not be as pronounced as it looks in other shots. Uh, I think somebody tried to say that the collar looks different here. He's leaning forward in the collar rather than leaning back, but you can see the back side of the collar. So, I mean, no. I'm interested to know what happens in this scene. There's nobody else in the scenery. This is obviously at the fortress, but there's nobody else in the scenery to tell us what's going on or if, something happened here or there. Um, but it does look like, the bottom half of this robot has been detached in some way. So I don't know. Whatever, whatever we find out, we'll find out. But you can see there the thickness of that outfit, and I see his flexed, bicep. How much better it would have been if it was just a spandex outfit. Like Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeve, you go back and look, he has some definition that you see because it's spandex. But the way that they've made modern things like the Man of Steel uniform, form fitting, skin tight, and there's reasons for that. Uh, but maybe I'll buy into these reasons if they give any reasons for it being this way. He does look quite upset. This is the saddest I've seen him look, as far as, I mean, sadness, actually. Like something tragic is happening here. It didn't look that sad on the farm to me. It looked angry to me. But maybe I'm miss seeing it. I've watched it a few times and watch it pretty slow. And this looks like the formation of the fortress. So is that a flashback or what? That's supposed to be Metamorpho. It's fine. At least 3 buildings are coming down now. Does this have to do with the kaiju and the fight with Superman? I don't see Superman in any way trying to stop this from happening. Um, where is this? What is that? The Daily Planet? Is that the ball on top of the Daily Planet? The globe? I haven't seen anybody stop this or anything or pull up on it. So I don't know. Do we see Lexus Towers back here somewhere? Maybe it's out in that distance. But anyway, this will be another thing to be looking for in the films. Why did they fall down? Why did these things fall down? And who caused them to fall? What's the issue? It's in the trailer because it's a pretty cool shot. I don't know. I don't really have any problems with it, but. And there we have him in what this is a totally different room than anything we've seen him in before. Maybe it's the inside of that area between the towers. and that's the control looking out and stuff. I don't know. Who knows? But he's definitely got some bruising scars, bruising and scars. A little bit red eyes, angry. His shot is his head's downward, and his jaw is not wide toward the back. I'm not saying that necessarily needs to be, but maybe he'll deliver a spectacular performance. We have not heard him speak in this. Now this, they say he's pushing the kaiju back, which makes a lot of sense, slowing it down especially. You're seeing the horns and the reflection and horns. I guess there were horns and stuff. But is he pushing an arm back? Is he pushing the head? Can't really tell. Would love to have a wide shot right there. But this looks like, to me, before he was blasted with fire. Because he's got no charring, no carbon residue, no soot, if you will. So it does look like that window's cracked, so he must have hit the building. Anyway, he's pushing away. Okay, and it pulls to the jogging doggy. Don't know why this Ultraman is punching through this wall. It looks like a regular 2x4. Maybe it's concrete walls. Does he jump in or is he flying in to hit Superman like that? Now, this is the fight that I assume that he gets bruised from and then shoots off or is punched off, I don't know, to the fortress area, the Arctic area. This, of course, should be. And again, people loving the dog. I don't. I like seeing the dog, Crypto. Um, but I still think that the uniform should be in tatters. So somebody said training session for this thing with the punching through the wall. I don't know. And did that say Metropolis? I'm pretty sure it did. On the yeah, it cut really quick. But anyway, no, I'm not gonna try to figure out who all is everything there. But yeah, this would be a dirt on the shoes and stuff like that. Um, and an obvious thing, you could tear the boots, and then of course you get a shot of Mr. Terrific. Um, they're saying that these soldiers are LexCorp soldiers, probably because of the coloring, straight out of the comic books and stuff like that. Then that's Lois cowering next to Mr. Terrific, with the energy shield around them. I assume so. People again don't like the outfit, the bagginess of the boots and things like that. This legitimate gripe and complaint. Don't know when that's happening too. Now this looks like when he's in, not the end. Come on. When he's in the dragon's breath, right? But I don't know because he could just be coming out of some kind of explosion there because he's turning around in circles and then cuts to what we think was part of the teaser shot, but the teaser shot did not have the fire. So what was going on? We don't know. I could probably try to match the two things up because it's just a real brief, out of sight, basically, glance at him. So it starts in the midst of that fire. Where that fire is, who knows? And then this, she's not holding his hand, she's holding his arm. Why? And then a hug, and fade to the date. July 11th, near my birthday. So I have my birthday present of a new Superman. And um, this trailer, this, not this trailer, this movie and the situations and the leaderships and the the comments given at various times have been a division to the fans. Okay, the fans are not divided because Snyder fans are just totally unaccepting of everything else. Okay, there's legitimate debate about it, but I'm not going to debate about this. But I do want to say that this movie, because of the division, because of what's going on, and because of certain theories and stuff like that, has got to, I mean, absolutely must do extremely well in the box office. The people that there exist, and you know they exist, people that are just, um, no matter what, everything that's in this thing is just amazing to them because it is, and they make all kinds of predictions that then become, you know, falsified. And they're still like, it doesn't even matter because it's perfect the way it is. It's a baggy Superman outfit that has a bunch of wrinkles when he twists and turns. That's fine. It's going to look amazing to me because he's awesome. He's just, everything is awesome. It's just so great. Blindly just saying whatever is what no critical view at all. Everything was perfect about the trailer. Now there's logical problems with the trailer to me, like I said, and I've already mentioned them, and none of that has to change for me to say this is an okay trailer. But it's not knocked my socks off. It's not changed my mind about what I think the movie is going to be like. I'm not super excited about any of it. Um, uh, you know, I'm going to watch the movie and see what happens. And if I enjoy it, I'll go and watch it again, probably 2 or 3 or 4 times, just to try to get all the little details because I like to do that and I like to see all the details that I can. If it's something that disappoints me, I probably won't go and see it again. And I'll leave it, at that. And I'll watch what happens with the rest of the time that Gunn is at DC. Maybe he'll be there for 50 years and make lots and lots of movies that follow up each other, and whole bunches of excellent things will happen. Who knows? We'll see. Either way, I'm gonna watch the movie as I am, just looking at it and seeing whatever it's going to show me. Um, I'm not overly critical. I tend to like movies that some people just somehow claim are really bad. I do notice some things that are really bad. I'm not saying that everything's good, but I don't go to a movie theater hoping that the movie is really really bad. I would never do that because that's a waste of money and a waste of my time. I've got so much more I could do. Uh, so, uh, but this movie has to not just get those people in there that are like, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened. This is great. or if anybody's paid to say that, then they're going to be saying that, and they watch the movie and whatever they feel about it, they're going to say whatever. Um, they're going to be blind followers. There's going to be people that come in with somewhat of a critical eye and may think about some of the things like I said of it. Why was the dog playful the whole time, rather than playful and then realize, oh, and have compassion, empathy or sympathy or whatever, um, knowing something's wrong. Um, Again, check Tyrone Magnus out. Okay, he says some of these things. But the cloud of snow, where does it go? What happens to it? You tell me. I mean, And James Gunn, you can change that if you want to. Fix these little flaws. Uh, Torn up suit in the beginning would seem reasonable to me. It makes sense. Uh, it just makes sense to me. Sorry. Um, but if you leave it like that, then I assume that he just got punched in the face a lot of times. Maybe he got punched in the stomach and it just didn't, do anything to the suit at all. Um, Whatever. We'll see the movie and make more logical assessments at that time. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's the little things that I saw in it. Some of them you may call nitpicky or something like that. It's just what I noticed. But some of the insults and stuff like that go on online gotta quit, because your Superman never smiles. Zack Snyder's Superman's always dreary and he's always droll, and he's grim and moody and everything like that. So what in the world is wrong with you? There's something wrong with somebody arguing that way, because it almost sounds ridiculous to argue back. No, he does smile. I mean, because it's obvious he did. And I don't know what movie you were watching. Um, so anyway, but not to compare this. I'm not going in to compare this to Henry Cavill's Superman, because to me it's just not. They're trying to start it over again. Fine, do it. Start it over. See what you get. Um, See how far you get with it. Now, my personal opinion about where it's coming from is it's doing the same thing that they did when they went toward Justice League and said, we got to make a bunch of money and we got to make this 2 hours long and we got to beat out Marvel. We got to try to catch up with them and what they're doing. This is the people up in the executive office saying this kind of stuff, because they get bonuses for things like that, and they get bonuses just for releasing the movie in time. Not even it being successful, which sounds stupid to me. I don't know, where's the business practices for these people? But anyway, uh, that's just nonsense. So anyway, back to the fact here, though, that they're doing the same thing though. They're creating. To me, it looks like a Marvel movie. There's a whole bunch of Marvelisms that are in there. So we have to see how much garbage there is in there from some of the modern uh, culture warriors out there in the world. Nonsense garbage that happens in this country. Uh, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they allow in this movie that people are shouting down in every movie that comes out that's like that. We'll have to find out. So, uh, let's see. Let's see what we can see. Um, but I did not see, like I said, the trailers in theaters. If I see it, I'll probably come back and make another quick video just to say it does this, and this, and we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens when the full trailers come out and stuff like this. This is 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Now, for my comparison, my only comparison is this: comparing this type of trailer, the way this is supposed to be an official teaser trailer, to the Man of Steel official teaser trailer, which was some various shots that led up to some dialogue from either Paul Kent, Jonathan Kent, Kevin Costner, talking to Clark as a young man, and to Jor-El as he was uh, as he had become Superman, and uh, those are the two versions of the trailer. And the last part of the shot is Superman flying through the air. I understood more of the story and what was going to happen in the movie from the Man of Steel teaser trailer. If I'm to judge from this teaser trailer what's going to happen in the movie, I'm going to say a lot of chaos. A whole bunch of stuff is happening with a whole bunch of characters, and a whole bunch of things need to be explained, and there's going to need to be a lot of dialogue to explain this stuff, and it's going to have to be well written, and it's and not bore and all that. And maybe they do that. Maybe he's very, very successful in getting this movie to work, you know. Uh, James Gunn, I'm talking about, and the rest of the cast and crew, because they've all got to do, their parts and do well. Um, but I got the story more, or at least some of the story, the idea of the movie, in a lot of ways, from those two dialogue moments in a minute and a half. So nearly, well, it's about 50 seconds less than this trailer. Okay, and so I've spent more time on this trailer than I spent on those. Now the other first trailers were the early trailers teasers was the we you are not alone sequence with General Zod. That comes in. That was some different marketing that was part of that, and then the scenes. I'd have to go back and watch that too, but that again told you a lot of to me in a little bit of time the story. You know, but you were getting more story. I'm not getting a lot of story out of this. You're getting a lot of existing characters and some scenery. What's going to happen and what's going on. That's about it. Uh, and I'm not necessarily complaining that we're just unknown. Maybe we'll find out pretty well uh, the story. Now, I don't mean the story as in something that would give you a a spoiler, because those trailers did not do any of that for Man of Steel. I don't think the Man of Steel trailers didn't spoil pretty much anything. All right, and there was a lot of speculations that happened, in that and through that too. Um, which a lot of speculations were, just turned out to be false anyway. Regardless, um, like I said, the trailer for me didn't hype me up more. I was looking at it saying, yeah, this is what I've been hearing about. This is pretty much what I'm expecting to happen. My disappointment in what happened before that is not affecting whether or not this movie is going to hold my attention. But I don't have any confidence myself. I don't have any confidence that James Gunn's going to be successful in this. I think he's going to fail in it. That's my opinion. And I'm not hoping for it. I would prefer to hope against that. Uh, but it's kind of like I don't really care to give much of an investment of time uh, to him and this movie. I'll watch it and see it. I'll watch the next thing that comes out. But when people say things that are dumb, I'll get emotionally involved with that kind of dumb statements. But anyway, nonetheless, regardless of all of that, um, anybody that's excited about this movie and this trailer makes them excited and they like what they're seeing, I hope that you're happy with the finished product of it. I hope that you do look at it with open eyes and say, yeah, where did that cloud of snow go? It really should fly over them in some way. Um, you know, I think you should think through those kinds of things. That's about it. Um, and like I said, a bunch of choices that they made I wouldn't have made, or I would have, if I could have the ear of James Gunn, would have said, no, that's not a good idea. That's a bad idea. Look, just Google it real quick. This is a better idea. I'm fine with the outfit as the outfit kind of is, but do agree that it's oversized. That means it makes sense. It's baggy. It should be thinner material and form fitting to him. He doesn't need armor or anything like that. Unless you're going to explain that he's definitely not an invulnerable Superman. If you're going to explain that he's quite vulnerable, then that would be a new take. I tell you that. So whatever the case is, though, um, if you enjoyed the trailer, make some comments below that you enjoyed it. You may find me saying that I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed the movie as well. I hope I enjoyed the movie because I don't go into it thinking I want this to be terrible. I expect to own it on Blu-ray and 4K because that's where we're going, and probably something else after that. Um, 8K and multiple other things. Anyway, um, I'm I'm looking forward to spending a few hours, uh, which I expect this movie to be like 4 hours long with all the characters and stuff that's going on in it. My opinion. You don't have to agree with that, but just what I'm thinking. And everything else, I hope that you're just being honest with yourself about all this stuff, okay? That's really what I'm trying to do with me. I'm going to be honest with myself about it and say, none of this has impressed me yet. None of it has impressed me yet. I've enjoyed some things, okay? But none of it has impressed me. All right, none of it has made my just wow, that's amazing. Um, it, it's meh to me, you know, something I might enjoy, but I don't have to be in shock and awe about any of it. And that's kind of where I am. If you think I shouldn't be, leave some comments below and let me know where you think I should be, or in what way I'm missing something that should help me to see it in a different light or something like that. You go ahead and let me know what that is. I'm not expressing all my opinions about the way Superman should be one way or another in different things. Uh, that's that's unimportant right now. Um, but for a trailer, just being realistic, to me, I see some flaws that are in it. I see a lot of things being shown that if you're following behind the scenes and in all the press photos and everything else, and as many theories as are out there and stuff like that, you're already aware of everything that was in the trailer, you know. But shortly before the trailer came out, somebody said that Crypto's going to be in the vast majority of the trailer. He wasn't in the vast majority, but I expected Crypto to be in it. And he did. He showed up. So there he is. And I already knew he was in the movie. So, and he's doing his part. It looks pretty neat. A little cute dog. Great. Happy for every dog lover on the planet and everybody that thinks that Crypto's got to be, uh, you know, in every iteration of Superman. I don't know. He's not in every iteration there is of Superman. No? So, anyway, I'm going to close this down, be done with it. Um, like I said, I'm meh on it. I'm not super excited. I'm not saying that anybody shouldn't be super excited, but try to be honest with yourself and don't be unrealistic. And certainly don't lie about something in the trailer. Like whatever supposedly is going to happen according to your very unusual theory. I've seen a few that I thought, where did you put? You only got that out of the deep desire in your heart not to see what you actually saw. that's that's the only explanation for some of these theories that came out that I heard. So it's anyway. Don't want to ramble on because it gets you interested. But if you want to go watch all those channels, if you just type in Superman teaser trailer reaction, you get all kinds of different channels. Holden, Jen Hardman, and Tyrone Magnus, and the Critical Drinker, and um, um, uh, I'm forgetting names. Angry Joe, um, Comic Book Cast 2, I think it is. Uh, the the real rejects, Chris Stuckman, just dozens and dozens and dozens. There's lots and lots of them. Late to the party, and some names are coming to mind just as I talk about it. But you see who they are. Um, and there's a lot of people. The was it is he? I can't remember his name right now. Andre. The Black Nerd, I think, is what his channel's called. If it's not, I apologize, but I don't remember. But Andre, I believe is his name, um, and several others that saw the trailer, you know, on the big screen with the cast and got to talk to cast and James Gunn and Peter Safran and others, pictures with them and stuff like that. I forget their names, so I don't want to call them out and get them wrong. Christian Harloff did his. John Campea did his reactions and theories and stuff. Yeah, go watch as many as you want. And if you watch mine, I'd like you to put a like or a dislike and just let me know that you watched it and whether you liked it or not. And maybe make a comment below and just say, hey, uh, this is what I thought. This was my favorite part of the thing. This was my least favorite part of the thing. Um, I want to say my favorite moment in the Q moment is crypto showing up. I'm not gonna lie about that. Uh, but my favorite action moment is Ultraman shoving Superman along that field. So I'm assuming and hoping that I'm gonna enjoy the fight scene that follows that, or that continues in that, whatever. But hopefully, some tears in the uniform will appear out of CGI magic, and that would justify him getting a new suit. By the way, for those that theorize that he's getting a new suit at the end of the movie, and I can hope that he does, for your sakes, anyway. But anyway, so I hope that y'all enjoyed conversation, couple of hours, and if you've stayed with me this long, you deserve a reward. You leave a comment below, and I'll talk to you about maybe sending you something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. This long of a watch through. Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, I'll see you again on another episode of this or one of my other videos that I do. Talk to you later. Bye.